Greg Dunker here, Super Talk, and I mentioned our legal mind. Could we just make you our legal correspondent? Would that be okay?
That'd work for me. I'll fit it in.
Chuck Walter is here, a local attorney. You've been practicing for a good long time. We've talked to you before with your son.
Certainly.
The
yes.
artiste.
He is.
Who does
He's
great
very
work.
Talented,
Very nice work. And sells that as part of the sale they have for the Easter Seals thing.
Yes, he has, and he's had a good bit of a success with that, too.
He's done very well.
Very proud.
And you have set your sights on elected office.
I have. At the ripe old age of 61 now. So something I've wanted to do for quite some time, and go for it.
Well, there's an opening. Judge Kaltenbach is retiring, so there's a McCracken Circuit Judge spot open, so you've decided to run for that.
That's what I'm going to do.
Why?
Because
we're of an age. We went to high school together.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of settled in here. You got your law practice going. You know, the family's all right. Why say this is what I'm going to do now?
Because I've got a lot of years left to work. The law is one of those careers where you can be productive and really make a difference for a long, long time. Kind of like my dad. My dad was a civil engineer till he was 86. So my gene pool doesn't retire. We just keep chugging and try to do something. And a judge is something that I've wanted to do for a number of years, more than 20 years. I've just never taken the political route.
Why has that been on your heart, to be a judge?
Because I enjoy the law. I enjoy courtroom techniques, courtroom proceedings. And for most of my career, and I've done a lot of trial work, I look at the judges and I say, I can do that. That's something I'd like to do. That's something that I've got a calling to do. Not to make it overly serious, but it's something that's very attractive to me. I like being an advocate as an attorney. That's great. But someone who can conduct the proceedings, make the right rulings, take everything into consideration, and be fair to people where they are, has a great deal of attraction for me.
And that's the big responsibility, isn't it, as a judge, to be fair to people, to take everything into consideration and you got to be Solomon when you're sitting on that bench.
You know, all of us have our biases, all of us have our likes and our dislikes. When you're on the bench, that goes out the window. You have to consider each person under the law, how it applies to them. Rich, poor, whatever their station in life, business, individual, you have to apply the law fairly. Otherwise, it doesn't work. You get inconsistent results. The community doesn't know what to expect when they come in front of you. You have got to be fair. You've got to be consistent, compassionate when called upon, but tough when called upon. All those things.
Now, you mentioned trial experience, and you told me off the air, I knew some of this, that you've done public defender work. You've done a lot of trial work, and you've done it not just for, the guy that can pay your bill happily without blinking, but you've done it for those, the public defender things.
I've done it for 35 years in a variety of settings. I've done civil work. I've done criminal work. I tried to get a judicial appointment through the governor's office. Came close a couple times. But what I was consistently told was, you don't have enough criminal experience. So I left my comfort zone. I left my private practice, went to the DPA, and enjoyed it. It was a blast. It was important. It was serious. I mean, people's lives are on the line. It's different being in court when your people's liberty depends on it, as opposed to their pocketbook, which is also important. But I've done a little bit of everything. And since May, I've worked at the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. I love that too. I've done both sides of the criminal equation, done civil work. I mean, both sides of the river. I've practiced from Mount Vernon south and Owensboro west, as far as being in dozens of different jurisdictions, different courts, seen lots of judges.
There's a wonder and almost a joy when you talk about the law as an entity that I get from you. There's an honoring of this. You really see the law as something sacred and beautiful.
Well, there were all sorts of quotes on a tablet outside of our law school. And one of the best ones was by Lincoln. It says, law is the experience of the people. Law is something we have. It's a gift. It's biblical. It's civil. It's all sorts of things. It comes from our experience. Lincoln was right. We develop the law in order to live safe and productive lives. And you've got to have someone who knows not only the law, but the procedure involved in applying the law in order to have a happy, healthy community. And yeah, that's something you can get passionate about. That's something you can have a heart for.
Chuck Walters running for McCracken Circuit Judge here. When's the election?
The election is not until November. But
traditionally, there. Okay.
Traditionally, there's probably not going to be a primary for the circuit judge. There's 2 candidates, so there won't be a primary as of right now. And I think the filing deadline passed earlier this week, so it won't be until November. But it's never too early to get your name out there, get name recognition. I think I've got a fair amount of it, but people forget there's almost 70,000 people in this county. You're not going to know everybody. So I want people to hear about me, hear who I am, ask me questions if that opportunity arises. And that's kind of what a campaign is all about.
Have you got anything set up, a campaign headquarters, a Facebook page, anything like that where people can contact you?
We've got a Facebook page, elect Chuck Walter, Circuit Judge. It's on there. That leads us to our web page. We've got various locales where you can pick up a shirt, pick up buttons. We've got bumper stickers coming. We'll have a central campaign office as soon as we can. We haven't accomplished that yet, but that's in the works.
So we can find a lot of that information on the Facebook page.
Oh, yes, very much so.
We tried to get your nemesis, Stuart Yancey, to come in here.
Stuman and Stratton,
and offer some sort of counterpoint, but I'm afraid he's busy this morning. He couldn't make it in, I guess.
He's out jogging the hills of Ballard County, which he does very well. It's beautiful country until he trips over a possum.
Well, possums trip us all up.
Hi, Dr. Jeff here with you guys. And, of course, we went to school with Mr. Walter. Yeah. And Chuck was... if you've ever wanted to see me get punched in the face, for something I've said or something I've done, this is the only man that has successfully done that. Chuck punched me.
I don't remember that.
Well, we were in a play.
Oh, okay.
Jones, and I was the villain in the play.
And he was excellent.
Yes,
he was great.
Villainy is my role.
It's your true milieu, yes.
Yes, it is, sir. And we've been through rehearsal, you're supposed to just punch, and he punches. I got my hand up here by my face, and he punches my hand. Man, it went like clockwork, and people just, oh man, that's such a great realistic fight. That's great. Oh, you're doing great. Doing great. So the night of the performance comes, and always before in rehearsal, Chuck had wore his glasses. But
this is
the
true.
night of the play, Chuck was not wearing his glasses.
Oh my!
And missed my hand and hit me right in the mouth. Blood spurted out. The crowd goes wild because the hero, Tom Jones, played by Chuck, knocked out the bad villain. I was on the floor, buddy, let me tell you, because it was such a shock to me. The blood rolling out of my mouth. The crowd is screaming, yay!
I can think of no better endorsement for the office of McCracken Circuit Judge than the man who has punched Dr. Jeff in the face.
My mom was especially happy with that scene. She was overcome with pride and joy, and it was.
This man knows how to mete out justice, even in a play. He can do it all.
Chuck Walter, look at the Facebook page, and if you'd like to help him out, because we went to school together. I mentioned that earlier. We've been friends a long time, and I can think of no better man to sit on that bench than Chuck Walter.
Older and wiser than we are.
Yeah.
By a year.
Yeah, and that's an important year.
I'm 59. So are you.
Well, yeah.
He's 61.
Just by, it's the turn of the month thing. It's all right. It's okay. The big problem is he roots for the Reds. That's where.
Look at the Central Division of the National League is well represented in these confines here. So
we've got it all.
Great towns.
Cubs, Cardinals, and Reds right here.
They're the only ones that matter. The Pirates, and the Brewers are an American League team. They're in the wrong league.
Such opinions are ours and not Chuck's. Chuck Walter, running from McCracken Circuit Judge. Look at the Facebook page. Help him out if you can. Chuck, listen, we appreciate you coming by.
Thanks, guys. It's always great to see you.
Say hey to the family for us.
Sure will.